Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This year should be a special schus for Yedid Nafshi, Moshe Yehuda ben Peshadina. You should have bracha v'atzlacha b'chol maaseh yadav. We've been learning through this sugya of rov and miut, and we've seen great yisodos from the illustrious Rosh Yeshiva, Moreinu Rabbeinu Agoyin Reb Chaim Shmulevitz Zechat Tzadik L'Fracha. And now we're going to see more. In the previous shir, we spoke, as we did in shir before that as well, about two types of miut. Is da'a miut command the isa, is da'a miut command the lesa. There's one miut that even after the rov beats the miut, but the miut still exists. The rov doesn't completely eliminate the miut. There are other miuts that the rov completely eliminates. That's miut command the lesa. And we spoke about nafkaminas. One nafkamina is that when do we say rov v'chazaka? You go after the rov. That is when the miut is command lesa. But if the miut is command isa, the miut is a significant miut. We said it's a miut hamatsui, it's a common miut, or it's two miutim. So in such an instance, that's mitztaref, that miut to the chazaka, and the rov doesn't beat it. It's one nafkamina. We saw another nafkamina by hotzas mammon. When do we say you follow the? When do you say that by hotzas mammon? When do you say that b'mammon? Holchen achar harov lohitzi mammon me'ana muchzik lefi rav. That's only if it's a miut command lesa. Miut command lesa, you can be motzi mammon. But if it's a miut command isa, if the miut still exists even after there's a rov, the rov doesn't completely wipe out and eliminate the miut, you can't be motzi mammon. It's not strong enough to be motzi mammon. Those are the gevaldik nafkaminas that we saw in the previous year. It's geschmack. Now, megaik weiter, as they say in ancient Greek. I don't know if you speak Greek, but sometimes in the shiur we throw in some Greek. The Rambam writes in the 15th parak of Ilchos Surei Bi Halacha Chav Zayin, Bakanta Rambam, Yeroili Shekol Medina. They say that in Satmar, Megillah Esther, reading Megillah Esther takes longer than in other places because not only do they bang every time they say Haman, they bang every time they say Medina. Shekol Medina, sheyesh ba shivcho goya riyaleled. If you have a place, a city, a country, a town, where there is a shivcha kanainis, a non-Jewish woman, or a goya, a regular non-Jewish woman, that can give birth, and then you find an asufi there, you just find a kid one day, you're walking down the street, you're walking down Main Street, and all of a sudden you see a baby lying there. Who does it belong to? Does it belong to a Yiddish mame? Or there a goyish mame? What type of baby is it? Mativo shel yeled zeh. He's a suffix. So what does the suffix do? He can marry, like the Rambam explains, he can marry a Gioris. He can marry a Gioris, this is a Sufi. That's what he's called. He's called an Asufi. So he marries the Gioris, and now this Gioris, his wife, this is years later, right? He's a baby. When he's a baby, he's not getting married yet, right? We like young, getting married young maybe sometimes, but young. 21, 22 is pretty young, but not a baby. In any event, so you have this young man marries a Gioris, and now this Gioris who's married to this Sufi has bia with another man. Rachmana litzlan. The shaila is if you give them a chiyuv misa. Because on one hand, maybe she's married to a good Jewish boy. She's an Eishes Ish. CP, capital punishment. Or no. What do we say? We say, maybe he's a guy, and she's not an Eishes Ish. There's no chiyuv misa. Not an Eishes Ish, Eishes Ish Yisrael. So then, Habola Potter. What's the din? So the Rambam says, Habola Potter, Shein Orgim Misafik. I already gave it away. The Rambam says that if somebody has beer with her, he's pater. Why? Because ein hargin misafik. Because we don't kill misafik. And maybe she's really not an Eishes Ish. If she's not an Eishes Ish, she doesn't deserve to die. Or does he? Ein hargin misafik abal le'a pater. Because maybe she's married to a guy. Ad kan divrei Rambam. Comes the Ravid. The Ravid says, wait a second. Rambam, I know you're busy and you're a doctor and you have a thriving practice. You have a lot of Talmidim and you're writing a lot of books. You have a lot of tzaras in life. But we can't vergessen enough in a Gemara. Steht in Gemara in Sanhedrin, Samach Tes, Sheholchim mit dinei Nefashos achar Rov. In dinei Nefashos, you follow the Rov. Oy bazoi. If it's Rov Yisrael, then you have to assume that this is Sufi Yisrael, and that she's an Eishes Ish, and it is a Chiyuv Misa. So that's the first kasha. Holchem b'dinei nefashos achar rov. So how come you don't follow the rov here, Rambam? How come you say you're choshish for the miut? Then maybe it's a goy. If it's rov Yisrael, you got to say it's Yisrael. V'oid. Another question. In Maseches Machshirin, Rabbi Yehuda says that if there was a goya or a shivcha there, she's chashuda lahashlich. She is the suspected of casting away this child. Not a Jewish thing to do. But we don't paskin. In other words, we don't paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. We paskin like the Rabbanan. As the Maggid Mishnah says, Mikol Divrei HaPerek Muchach, that the Rambam paskins like the Rabbanan. So, we have two kashas. The first kasha is, what about Holchem Medina Nefashos achar Rov? So you have to follow the Rov. And B, in Maseches Machshirin, is Rabbi Yehuda who says that we're choshed that a goy or a shifcha threw it away. We pass like the Rabbanan. So Reb Chaim says as follows, that it says in the Tosefta Machshirin that the reason of Rabbi Yehuda is that you go after rov mashlichim, most of those people who cast away children. In other words, even if rov Ir is Yisrael, most of the people who live in the city are Jewish, we don't follow that rov. Why? Because rov mashlichim are goyim. The casters away are not. When was the last time you met a Jew who cast away? Even though it does happen. Chaim Brisker was famous, besides his Torah, which he's most famous for, but he has to put in his kever the words Rav Chesed, because he was such a tremendous Rav who did Chesed, and he did so much, Harbei Chesed. So among other things, people would put their little foundlings there, girls who were impregnated and they gave birth, and it wasn't such a geschmacka thing to go home and say, yeah, look, this is my baby, I'm not married, and, So the girls would just leave their babies by Reb Chaim's doorstep, and he would take care of them. They called him Reb Chaim's Memzerim. So it does happen that Jewish people are mashlich, but generally not. So rov mashlichim are goyim. So the Rabbi Yehuda says we follow that rov. Achshav tzachim lavin. What are the rabbis thinking then? What's the Rabbanim Svara? So Rabbanim Svara is that you still follow rov Yisrael, even though rov mashlichim are goyim. But you still follow the fact that most people in town are Yisrael. They agree, the Metzias, that Rov Mashlichim are going to be Shivchas or Goyas. That they're not arguing. Maybe they're arguing Rov Mashlichim are Jews. No, the Rabbanan don't hold that way. Rov Mashlichim aren't Jews. The Rov Mashlichim are the Goyas and the Shivchas. Oh, so what do they argue about? But they say you still follow Rov Yisrael. Most of the people in town are Yisrael. So the argument is that the Rabbanan hold that you follow most people in town. Which Rov do you follow? Since most people in town are Jewish, so you assume the child's a Jew. Rabbi Yehuda says, you follow the Rov Mashlichim. Rabbanan say, I agree with you, Rov Mashlichim are guys or shifchas, but you still follow the Rov Yisrael. And Rabbi Yehuda says you follow Rov Mashlichim. So it would appear, according to this, Gevaldik, based on the Yisod that we've been fleshing out in the previous shiurim, that if you have a suffix, you paskin like the Rov. That's the rabbi's hold. But what do you say about the miut? How are we going to talk about this miut? How are we going to learn this miut? What type of miut is it? Is it miut command isa or miut command lesa? Is it a miut that exists, or is it a miut that the Rov eliminates? And the answer is, what does your logic tell you, sweetest, most beloved friends? It's pashut, it's miut command isa. Of course, this miut still exists, because the Rabbanan agree with Rabbi Yehuda that miut that Rov Mashlichim are goyim. He just says follow Rov Yisrael. Most of the people in town of Yisrael, you have to follow that Rov. But there's still a miut command yisi. You can't say that we eliminated the miut. Hare Rov Mashlichim are goyim. So there's still a miut goyim that's a significant miut that's not eliminated by the Rov. Ad kan בהבנת המחלוקת בין רבנן ורבי יהודה. עכשיו אנחנו נתקדם שלב הלאה. Give me Yashiv, the Kasha, the Ravid. The Ravid brings from the Sugya on the Rambam. He says, the Rambam, what are you talking about? We learn in the Sugya, Holchem in Nefashos Achar Rov. Was entwirrt der Rambam? The Rambam darf entweren etwas zum Ravid. What's the Rambam can answer the Ravid? What we want to be here, sweet friends, is the Rambam's lawyer. Now we know that a good lawyer answers an email, $250, $500 per email, whatever. Every lawyer has their rate. Not every lawyer. I'm saying bad about lawyers. Just lawyers, Baruch Hashem, they charge. They have to make a living too. They have mortgages to pay and kids to marry off. A lot of expenses. So, and then they do a case. You know, they're billing $600 an hour, $800 an hour, $1,200 an hour. So we're going to spend a few minutes being the Rambam's lawyer for free. L'kadei Shem Shemayim. Don't send $1,200 checks. Nothing. We're just going to do it for free because we love the Rambam. So what's the Rambam going to answer the Ravid? What about Hochem and Nefashos Achar Rov? So the answer is that Gemara is Adarabah. The Rambam vergesst nicht dem Gemara. The Rambam don't forget Gemara. The Rambam is a großer Kop. Wir haben nicht a Kop in Klal Yisrael kimat. In the 1,000 years we've had such a cup. They say, Mi Moshe ad Moshe lo haya ka Moshe. From Moshe Rabbeinu to Moshe ben Maimon. The Rambam knew the Gemara in Sanhedrin. But that's his makor. Because in the Gemara there, the Gemara says, the Sakadaitach of Rav Huna, Breder of Yoshua, that in dinei Nefashos, you don't go after the Rov. Why? Because the Torah says, V'shaftu Eida, V'tzilu Eida, that you do everything you can to save a person from capital punishment. We don't want to kill. We're a religion of love. The Beatles might sing about love. A lot of other rock groups. But we are really we brought to the world v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. We don't want to kill anybody. V'shaftu eida, they judge, they have to do everything they can to save. V'tzilu eida, a lot of dinim around v'shaftu eida, v'tzilu eida. We want to do everything we can. And frek the Gemara, since it says in the pasuk, v'bal state in pasuk, v'shaftu eida v'tzilu eida, you're going to now tell me that go after the Rov. Why don't we be choshish for the miut and save the person's life? That'd be so sweet. Why are you following the Rov? That's the Gemara in the Havamina. But then the Gemara proves from a number of places that Hochem Achar Rov. Now the question is, how do we learn this Hochem Achar Rov? How does the Rambam learn this Hochem Achar Rov? Now the Maskanas HaGemara. The answer is that the Rambam is learning that this Hochem Achar Rov is only when miuta command the lesser. Only when the miut is an eliminated miut. But if the miut is still extant, even after the rov, we're going to follow the miut. When do we follow the rov? When the rov eliminates the miut. But otherwise, if the miut is still there, miut command the isa, you got to do everything you can to save it. המקום שהרב"ד הקשה על הרמב"ם, זה מקור הרמב"ם. הרב אומר, תסתכל בגמרא, רבנו הרמב"ם. הוכרים בנפש סחר הרוב. לא, הרמב"ם אומר, זה נכון, אתה צודק, גם לי, יש אותה גמרא. But I'm learning, הוכרים בנפש סחר הרוב, only if miut does command the lessay. If there's no miut. But if there is a miut, v'shav repunish them, v'shav to edav et silo eida, ratavit mir, you have to save the guy. So if it's mevatel and miut, so that's a beirur gamor. Beirur gamor, we gotta do it. You gotta carry out the punishment. Yikov adina sahar. But if it's not a beirur gamor, if the miut is still there and it's just a psak, it's achra like we spoke about in the previous shiur, can't kill. Kumtois, that the Ravid's two kashas answer each other. What were the two kashas? One was the Gemara says Hochem Mamanach Harov, and the other one was Rabbi Yehuda who says that you say that it was the Shifcha or the Goya. Not Rabbanan. We follow Rabbanan. So the answer is that Enochinami. It was Rabbi Yehuda who says that you go after Rov Mashlichim, and the rabbis do argue. Aval mai nikudat hamachloket? What are they arguing on? They are arguing not that the rabbis say that Rov Mashlichim are not goy. The rabbis agree with Rabbi Yehuda in principle that Rov Mashlichim are goyim. They are just arguing you follow the Rov of Yisrael that live in this town. But Rov Mashlichim are goyim. They agree with Rabbi Yehuda. So the Ravid says, oh, what about Rabbi Yehuda? So Rambam's answer is, yeah. The rabbis don't completely dispute Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbis agree with Rabbi Yehuda. In other words, because of Rabbi Yehuda, this miut is command Isa. Since my rov mashlichim are goyim, the miut is command Isa. The miut is command Isa. We go back to our rule of ein ochin Nefashos of v'shavtu eid v'tzilu eida. Now you have to save him. Since there's a Rabbi Yehuda, you have to save him. So the Gemara says Hochem Nefashos sachar arov. The Rambam's answer is, look at Rabbi Yehuda, and the rabbis agree with Rabbi Yehuda in principle that Rov Mashlichim are goyim. That means that the miut is command Isa. There is a miut. There is a miut. And it's gevaldik. Then the Rov doesn't eliminate the miut. We go back to the kal of Shaftu Eida V'tzilu Eida. And if somebody has bia with this Giyores who married the Asufi, there's going to be no chiyuv misa. Because she's not an Eshes Ish. You have to assume that the husband might be a goy. You have to be choshish for that sad. Because that miut is command Isa. Because Rov Mashlichim are goyim. The Ravid, what's the Ravid going to answer? Maybe the Ravid says that no, that the Rov is strong enough that the miut is command lesser. Maybe on that Nakudi is arguing with him. That yeah, the rabbis will agree that Rov Mashlichim are goyim. But that miut is command lesser because you still follow Rova here. But even though the Rambam klingt git in oyer, the Rambam rings well, the Rambam sounds good. The Ravid you have to work out after this. Al kol panim, nimtza biyadenu adriter nafkamina, the third nafkamina of this dina mechudesh of miut command lesser. Adding on to our previous two nafkaminas of we're only hochem momanach harov when it's miut command lesser, and rov chazak aruba adif only when it's miut command lesser, and here also when are you holech b'nefashos achar harov when miut is command lesser. So believe me, sweet friends, as sweet as this was, it just gets better. So we have Mitzvah Hashem, a lot more to do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us the koach and the moach and the financial means that Hashem should just give us chef of bracha on to be able to continue giving the shiurim. And we should be zochel lilmod ulamed, lishmor v'lasos, ulekayim es kol divrei salmo Torah, so be ahava, amen v'amen, shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friends.